ECS qualifier action coming at your faces. It's game number 3 and spawning in the top left corner of the map. It's going to be the red Zerg player, No Regrets.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, it's Patch Toss.
And they've been calling each other potatoes in the lobby. Potato used for very different phrasing. But again, I think these two are... It does seem like they've got that friendly vibe going to them. Now, as far as this game goes, I couldn't tell you. Judging off the first 2 games, like game 1, Patch Toss made that look so easy. You know, it looked like No Regret. Hundreds of lings and queens and spine crawlers should have been prepared for it, but wasn't. Then game 2, it just kind of fell apart. That ling around by the Oracle usage, that forward blink, just so many things went badly for him. So, for me, I don't know where to sit on this matchup. Personally thinking, I'm leaning towards more Regret at this point, but Patch Toss definitely not somebody to be written out.
Yeah, I guess it depends what Patch Toss is going to do. I guess it always depends on that because there's usually the reaction race. But it's surprising. You know, I don't really heard of Patch Toss, and I really shouldn't have any like faith in him, especially since it's supposed to be like a dirty Terran lover or whatever. But for some reason, I do. I have a little bit of faith, or maybe it's not enough faith in No Regrets.
Gut instinct.
Dealings with all-ins.
Maybe. To go over the bets real quick, because we didn't quite do it, it's actually surprisingly close. Look at the fan opinion. 10,426 for No Regret to the 8,604 on Patch Toss. So, not too big of a difference. Again, these are your ladder heroes, or whatever you want to refer to them as. They're the folks that we don't normally see at the top of the bracket, so not super familiar with them. However, both of them getting quite far. We're getting really close to the qualifying rounds. We're about 2 best-of-3s away or so until players actually play the match that determines whether they'll get through and qualify for WCS. Big shout out to this guy named Zeal. I remember him looking at him in the bracket last time. He takes out not only Masa, but Warren to continue in the brackets. And Peely advances over Azrael and some others still going strong. You know,
QXC versus Ghost has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, I'm curious. It could just be the bracket being delayed too on updates.
That's always a possibility. It's one matchup that I think would have been also cool if people weren't asking for Patch Toss.
Yeah, maybe we catch up one of those 2 later. But I'm actually looking at the next round possibly having Bales versus Mooskills. I think would be another really good one. Mooskills was an avid abuser of the Swarmhouse versus Protoss, but I'd love to see how he's playing now.
Note the lack of Koreans.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jaedong got through already, right? I think what I'm really interested to see, though, is they got that Premier Pick system, you know? We've had some folks talking about it. TLO is tweeting about it almost jokingly in jest to tell players, like, you know, shut up, quit whining, or you'll get picked first type thing. But it is being done a little bit different this time around, where you get to pick your opponent. Like, that's never happened before. And I think it's kind of cool.
Well, in GSL it happened.
Well, sorry, I mean for WCS, pardon me. But, you know, at the same time, I think it was either on Remax, or so I think it was Remax 90 I was talking about how, you know, the pros are just going to pick the easy wins. Why wouldn't you? So it might end up being kind of lame. But when you get down to this last couple of picks, you know, you're going to have to fight good people versus good people.
There might have been 2 Remaxes, or maybe it also was on the late game, but I remember like being in a talk show discussing the same thing. So yeah. I definitely remember the potential problems, and I definitely remember because I'm the one who brought up that GSL already did it. I'm
twice
so smart.
now. Get over yourself.
But seriously, it could be really fun as GSL as shown us, or it could really just be like, okay, fresh meat, you're gonna die. Come here. Anyways, something to look forward to after the challenges. Like we can look forward to because we're not gonna cast that. Oh, but casting it might be fun. Oh, look at this jerk. He picks Intense first. Like, this guy, please. Just be nice, Jaedong.
Well, that's the thing. They'll have, like, you know, probably Clutch, like, interviewing or on Skype with these guys with Nathanius from Rotterdam or something, and just, like, they'll discuss it.
Do you want your names pronounced correctly, or do you want your names pronounced incorrectly?
Well, my point was, I doubt it's going to be something where they fly everybody to, like, the studios to do the Premier Pick system, right? Like... Yeah,
that's true.
Maybe somewhere after Challenger League, they point them out and grab them aside and do some pre-recording or something. I don't know how they plan to do it, but I'm excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah. Well, this game is starting to shape up. We do have another fast third base for Patch Toss. He's going to get away with it looks like, because we don't have a Ling Flood for No Regrets. In fact, a Roach Warren does come down, and there's no speed. Okay, all right, I was about to say, because I think he got a Roach Warren in the past 2 games. I know the first game he definitely did. He just didn't use it. He went for a lot of Lings first. But this game, no Medbog boost, so it is going to be Roach-based.
Apparently, sorry, I just refreshed the brackets. QXC did actually advance over Ghost User, so wasn't sure how that was going because it took so long. But you know what? Depending how he does, if Velo, if he beats Wind, because I don't know who Wind is. If he beats Wind, we might have QXC versus Velo a little bit later on.
Oh, that's right. State is really the guy I'm looking forward to getting through.
Yeah, he won the safety nets tournament we had thrown in honor of the fallen players from that very rough, very tough WCS Season 1 qualifiers.
Yeah.
I actually had a really good time with that too, because I remember those finals being pretty close. It was him and Nurchio, I believe, right?
Oh yeah, they're really great. Yeah. State's also just a really nice guy.
Yeah, that too. He actually sacrificed all of his Legacy of the Void time. He played for 2 days and then stopped, and he was complaining about not being able to play because he had to focus on getting ready for WCS. State, though, kind of a guy that's brought up for controversy too with this whole region locking. Should you be allowed to play from Korea?
Oh,
all
well,
this nonsense.
Really? He was brought up, and then Penguin has to be brought up, isn't he?
Yeah, well, they were talking. Well, Penguin, I think, was the one who brought him up when they were talking about it earlier on. Again, big shout out to Remax. Look at all this publicity. Ugh.
Yeah, it was on some show we don't know the name of.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Voldemort style. It's like the show that shall not be named. But we do have the game finally shaping up, so we had a bit of a passive opening, guys. So all the chit chat now going to the side because with Blink finishing up with +2 weapon upgrades, Patchtoss is gonna have his massive Blink Stalker army, and I feel like we see a lot of Protoss players. They've all done this style at some point. Yeah. But the problem really with it is that if you don't snowball with it, it doesn't get good. It's just so easy to squash with even roaches. We've seen Tunneling Claws go long way. Hydros, of course, the best. Fungal Growth sometimes mixed in. And with the new meta, kind of what appears to be leading towards Ultralisks, Stalkers become harder and harder to use.
Well, Patchtoss doesn't have the problem of, getting damage dealt right as he was preparing to get all the gateways done with Ling, so I think he's already looking a lot better. This Roach Attack is scary, but you'll be surprised, like, in 2 more Warp-In, suddenly the Roach Attack isn't really scary at all, and a couple of good force fields as well. But the Blink Stalker are really going to start growing in number as all these gateways finish up, and the +2 finishes as well, so rather than be worried... Oh, never mind.
He force fields himself out of this, though. He actually can't get back to his natural base to defend because those forces squeezing through just barely best he can. Roaches are going to make their way to the main photon. Overcharge is popped, but these oracles be damned. They don't have any damage versus roaches. They got too much armor.
This is a big problem.
Turns around, starts sniping off the sentries too.
If he had the exact same setup, well, not the exact same setup, if he had a similar setup to last game where there are still sentries in the natural base and none of this happens, he looks so good to Keto on and start that snowball effect, but instead he has to chase roaches, he loses his +2.
That's it.
His sentries
I think
feel
it's over.
useless. It is over.
He's going to focus down the natural base because why the hell not? Everyone's busy dancing around here in the main while warping in a couple of Zealots is kind of all he can really do. Patchtoss is going to lose this game with 1,100 minerals in the bank. Like, the pain! I guess warping his Zealots really is all he can do. Not a lot of gas available, maybe a couple Stalkers, but even then you need a lot of them, not a couple of them. And, well, they might have Blink. That's it. Zombie Grove. I don't know what to say. Cast just called the game too early, and it doesn't really matter because this point on, it's a dead man walking on borrowed time. No matter what sort of recovery. I was going to put air quotes, but I screwed up my typing. Never mind. But what type of recovery you have? Yeah, the Nexus goes down. Probe count didn't die too hard through this, but the snowball's still here, and the Stalker count is just not. Even if he blinks all these perfectly, it's the brute force of 80 army supply versus 28. And some of this is like, the oracles in the air, the mothership core in the sky, none of which dealing a lot of damage. There's the BM coming into this too, which is literally dancing.
No. It's too bad Patchtoss never got to show his real strength with Blink Stalkers. Always getting, in the last game, Lynx hit him just pretty early on, while he was getting set up, and the Roaches just hit right as he was getting set up, right as the warp gates were finishing.
Positioning too, so nice.
Yeah. +2 dying was already, kind of really good for No Regret. If he hadn't been able to get to the main base, that was already like a good start, but getting into the main base just made everything fall easily apart for for Patchtoss.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like the tunnel vision on the main base, but that's right. Oh yeah, there's a third. It's undefended, not a lot of warp-ins. Good game. Good luck next round is called, and No Regret will take the series 2-1 and advance on in the brackets. He'll have to wait a little bit of time though by the looks of it because he's got to wait for every time versus